Well guys, they've dropped brand new trailers for Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore. They've dropped a Japanese trailer and a Chinese featurette which features some brand new footage, including Ariana Dumbledore and Tina Goldstein. So let's break down all this new footage. But as always, before we start, if you're a fan of the wizarding world of Harry Potter, make sure you subscribe. So yeah, there's quite a bit of new footage here, but I will be ignoring anything that's old unless it's relevant or features new dialogue. And I will leave both trailers in the description below. So we start off with the wide shot of Hogwarts that we've seen before, but now we can see Newt, Theseus, Teddy the Niffler and Pickett the Bowtruckle by the side of the lake. And the next shot is the Scamander brothers holding hands. Their clothes are a mess, the tree is uprooted behind them, and Theseus has what I believe is the manticore claw or tail wrapped around him. So it's obvious these scenes have to be linked together. They have to happen after the manticore lair, which seems to be some sort of prison that Theseus is held in and Newt has to save him. So both brothers survive the manticore and head back to Hogwarts. But it's not a pleasant experience for either of them, even for the experienced Magizoologist Newt Scamander. Even Newt does not want to experience a beast like the manticore. So yeah, moving on. This is the first big shot. Albus Dumbledore and the portrait of his sister Ariana Dumbledore in the Hogshead Inn. The very same one from the Deathly Hallows. And later in the trailer, Dumbledore starts to explain to Newt what really happened to Ariana. I drew my wand, which was even more foolish. And this must refer to the infamous freeway duel between Aberforth, Albus and Gellert Grindelwald. Basically, to sum it all up, Aberforth tries to stop Grindelwald and Dumbledore taking Ariana on their mission to gather the Deathly Hallows and of wizarding dominance. A fight breaks out between Grindelwald and Aberforth. Grindelwald uses the Cruciatus curse against him. Albus steps in, but this is the foolish part, because of the Blood Pact. I've always felt the Blood Pact leads to Ariana's death, as Albus and Grindelwald cannot fight, and it's possible one of their spells is deflected by the Pact and hits Ariana instead. Or it's possible her obscurial powers activate, and what happened to Ariana haunts Dumbledore for the rest of his life. But it also helps shape him into the great wizard we know from Harry Potter, because like all of us, we should learn from our mistakes. And then we get lots of shots of Teddy the Niffler and Pickett the Bowtruckle, the new dynamic duo that's been saving Newt's ass since the very first movie. Fantastic Beasts is full of magical and powerful creatures, but Pickett and Teddy are my two favourite. Well, alongside Fawkes the Phoenix. And even though the story has moved away from Newt Scamander finding beasts all over New York, I'm happy they still play an important role, and each time he finds new and exciting creatures. And there's also that shot of Bunty in the Hogshead with the baby Nifflers. Soon Teddy will have an army. And there's also lots of shots from Bhutan and the International Confederation of Wizards, basically the wizarding version of the United Nations. And this is the third act leading up to the duel between Gellert Grindelwald and Albus Dumbledore. And if we go back to another part in the trailer, and we can actually see wanted posters of Grindelwald in Hogsmeade, and this has to be a callback to Harry's wanted posters in the Deathly Hallows. Because at the start of the movie, Grindelwald is still a wanted criminal, but towards the end, the charges must have been dropped, and now he's a candidate for the Supreme Mugwump, head of the International Confederation. And with this position, Grindelwald would be able to start his war against the Muggles. And then we get Jacob and Lally, and as we can see, Lally definitely recruits Jacob outside his bakery. She fixes up his outfit, and they portkey straight onto the train and meet the First Army. Jacob calls it a portkey, but it definitely looks like flu powder to me. Looks like they've travelled on the Flu Network because of the green flames. Unless, of course, these two scenes are not connected and it's just cut for a trailer. Or maybe the movies don't really care and they're just calling it a portkey. And they're using green flames as some sort of visual, which is probably a poor choice because that is what we associate with the Flu Network. And then we go to the Berlin dinner party and Jacob draws his wand. And I believe this is the table where Grindelwald is sitting. So Jacob has drawn this wand in Grindelwald's face, which is going to cause a huge uproar. This sequence has been heavily promoted, and the Chinese trailer actually shows more. It shows us that Lally aids Jacob, and she eventually disapparates herself and him out of here after all hell is broken loose. And then we get Jacob at Hogwarts in the Great Hall, where he experiences more adventures in the Wizarding World. Pint-sized wizards. I honestly envy Jacob, a Muggle experiencing the Wizarding World for real. I think that's something we wish could all happen to us. And now, the big one and the thumbnail, Tina's photo inside Newt Scamander's suitcase, which features drawings of creatures, his New York ferry ticket, and the Paris postcard. And we'll probably get more souvenirs on his travels. They'll probably add something from Berlin, Bhutan, and China to the collection. And guys, every single day I'm asked in my videos where Tina is. I have no official sources, I don't know officially, but Tina is not going to be a major character in this film. We did hear a while ago that she does show up, only for a couple scenes. But she's still close to Newt's heart, and one day they will marry. So I'm hoping in Fantastic Beasts 4, Tina will be back as a main character. But I do hope the film explains her absence. And this scene is probably when it happens. Newt opens up his suitcase, maybe Jacob or someone asks about Tina. And Newt tells them she's still in America, she's head over now, she's too busy. What happened if Queenie really broke her heart? She doesn't want to be part of this anymore. And then the big scene for me, Credence versus Albus. And Credence, Aurelius Dumbledore, has a phoenix by his side, which is probably the very same phoenix from the last movie. And Credence says, he's not here for you, he's here for me. And I think he's referring to the phoenix. Until proven wrong, I am calling this phoenix Fawkes. There's no other reason for it to be a phoenix that is not Fawkes. And remember, there's a legend in the Dumbledore family that a phoenix will come to any Dumbledore in need. But then in trailer 2, we can see the phoenix fly next to Dumbledore. Like I said, I'm going with the idea that this phoenix is Fawkes, because why wouldn't it be? And it adds a lot to the relationship between Dumbledore and Fawkes in Harry Potter, as this majestic bird was once close to his so-called brother, who by the time Harry Potter rolls around is obviously dead. But yeah, it seems like Fawkes will be on both sides. Maybe he switches allegiance, maybe he's torn. He doesn't want the Dumbledores fighting, he's loyal to both of them. Or maybe Albus somehow proves his loyalty to Credence and gains the bird's trust. But in this fight, Credence has a lot of confidence and a lot of anger. He has his obscurial powers, his wand, and his firebird. But Professor Albus Dumbledore is definitely going to school him here. I don't think Credence has a chance. And I will be making a big video on Fawkes the Phoenix next week. But for now, make sure you post your thoughts on all the brand new scenes. So yeah, the structure for this film is becoming more and more clear. And the international trailers are featuring more scenes that are at time very spoilery. But I think it's because both markets need to be heavily promoted, as they're relying on China and Japan at the box office. And I expect more footage in the next coming weeks, but I don't want to see anything too much more. I don't want to see any more spoilers really, because I think trailer 2 was the peak with Dumbledore and Grindelwald. But they might drop a third trailer, but I'd be happy to end it here. But in terms of a marketing perspective, I think the film needs another big push before April, so it's possible another trailer will drop towards the end of March. And of course I will break that down if it drops. So guys, thank you so much for watching, subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you soon.